Hello, welcome to Hat on Head News Network. I am Hat on Head, going to bring you another coronavirus update, try and put some of these numbers in perspective. Everyone around the world has definitely been affected by this in one way or another. Even if you're still working, your work has changed. Nothing has ever been quite this widespread in terms of its effect on the entire world population. It is March 29th. So I'm going to show you here the numbers. So total cases worldwide, 707,000, 33,000 deaths. Here is the curve. So right now, March 29th, it looks like we have about 3,000 deaths per day. We still have the most deaths on March 28th as the days before, so we still are right, in the growth period, in the worst of this. In Boston, this is definitely when it's going to start hitting over the next 2 weeks, and the numbers look really bad. But I do want to put these numbers into perspective for people to understand that the world is not going to end, that long term, if you look at the amount, the world population, this is really just a blip, a tiny amount of people, and it's so I'm going to show you that now. So 33,000 coronavirus deaths just today. There were 217 births. So the estimate that I would put out there as of right now, with all the information that we have, this is an uneducated estimate, but I think that we're looking at maybe 400,000 to 500,000 deaths for this pandemic. In just 2 days, we'll replace that amount of people. So I think the reaction has been amazing, and in so many different ways. But at the same time, I think that it certainly has been disjointed, confusing, and there's a lot of people that are looking at other people who are working and judging them, and now we're going to go into this period where people will get infected, and I think that people will kind of be judging each other and their neighbors as to their behavior and have they been quarantining. So I think that the reaction, we'll see how it all plays out, but in terms of the numbers and our kind of mindset for this, we really should keep all of this into perspective. Again, you look at the total deaths is 33,000 deaths in the world today. There were 218,000 births. So the truth is that, even though this is a terrible situation, these deaths are not going to affect us as a population, as a society, as it's a terrible situation that we all have to work together to try and keep the numbers down. But the effect of people being ordered to not work could obviously be far greater in terms of people's livelihoods and their health and everything that they've worked for. And I think there's a situation where you have some people who are basically able to work from home, and it just doesn't affect them, and then there's other people that have no choice but to go out and work, and there's so many people that are essential services, and that's another topic of contention. People are judging each other. People are looking at their neighbors and saying, why are you going out? And obviously, we should all try and do our best to quarantine, to stay at home, to do everything that we're being told. I'm certainly not second guessing the guidance given by the local, state, national authorities, but I also think that the way that this is playing out in our minds is a little bit heavy, and we need to keep in consideration that the numbers, right? If we're talking about the numbers, the amount of people that are dying, we also should know what proportion this has, what effect this is going to have on the grand scheme of things. So that's my video for today, comparing the amount of coronavirus deaths that we have right now at 33,000, that we will have expected to be, according to my prediction, which is again just my own prediction from what I'm looking at, maybe 400,000 to 500,000 deaths. And it'll take us 2 days as a human population to replace those people. Obviously, we have to feel for everyone in our community that's going through this. But from what I see in my community so far, is that what people are going through is an immense change and a really hard time to figure out what they should be doing on their day-to-day life. And it's taking up so much mental space. This coronavirus thing is, I mean, it's just people. There's people out there that just cannot function because all they're thinking about is the coronavirus, and that doesn't help. That doesn't help anyone. I just think that everyone's got to do their day. Whether that means working from home, whether that means going into there's obviously the hospital is the front lines, and everyone has a lot of respect for the nurses and doctors who are going to be seeing all these incoming cases. As we try and stay home and self-isolate and get away from the coronavirus, these people are every day going into work, spending many more hours than they did before in amazing circumstances, and obviously they all deserve our respect. I hope that we can just try and stay positive, and that's really the message behind this video, is that right now, if we look at the amount of deaths today, humans are strong and will bounce back, and got to stay positive during this unprecedented pandemic. All right, thanks for watching. Keep your hat on your head.